Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. Today is episode number 235 of playing chess every day until I get to 1800 ELO. And that is basically just a series of me playing games every day and struggling to win, but winning some and trying to move forward, post my progress. You guys get to watch it. It helps me follow and track my own progression as a chess player. And yeah, we laugh, we cry, and we move on. So if you guys enjoy my content, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And we're just going to get right into today's game. So, switch the scene and let's jump into the 10-5 pool. I'm thinking about playing 15-minute games. Something in my head. I am very nervous about today's game, however, because I'm close to 1200. Like, I want to get like well over the 1200 mark. And I'm still playing people that are under 1200, and I don't want to be losing to them. So, it is what it is. Today we're getting a Caro Khan. Good luck. Kai's, yeah, it's a cool name. Cool little cat playing chess there. So, we can take, they take, we get our knight out. More than likely get into a Tartakower setup. I'm going to take and get my knight out, and we'll probably get a Tartakower. In which, I'm not going to lie, I don't have the best repertoire against, but woo, my heart is racing. I have no idea what is wrong with me. We are going to get our bishop out, castle, and yeah, proceed with our regular programming. All right, I'm going to just go ahead and castle right away. They have pressure on this pawn right now. I can go for the pin if I would like, and I think I will do that. I'm just trying to make sure there's not anything else that I'm like messing up or something, but I'm going to go for the pin. Now, if they kick my bishop, we just back up. And more than likely, they might do this and then try and track down my bishop with their knight. This is also a move. So now he's got some pressure here. I can bring my bishop down and actually attack the queen. I guess, what does he do to stop that? I guess he has to move his queen there. Doesn't look like he has any way to, like, interpose it. So, potentially a good move. Just double checking to make sure there isn't anything, like, better. But I think I am going to win the tempo on the queen. I like my bishop on that square. And, yeah. I am anxious, guys. Anxious. All right. He backs his queen up to D2. So typical ideas are get the rook onto the file, get the knight over onto F8 if I can. I could see him trying to maybe like do something like this. He also does have a battery here. He doesn't have anything. I'm pretty well defended right now around my king. But I am looking at, in case he does do something like this, if I have, if I want to do something like that. So I was thinking almost maybe even pushing the pawn. But I think developing is just good. He blocked his bishop in with his queen. So perhaps we just prioritize development and go from there. So that's what I'm going to do. I think getting the knight over to this square is really important now. This pawn is protected, so he might be trying to rotate the bishop this way, which it would have been nice to have my my knight where it was in the first place. I can move my bishop back here, and we can play like that. If he plays like this, then I will have to move back, but that will provoke a weakness in his structure. I guess alternatively, yeah, he doesn't really have that. The pawn cube is not the worst thing in the world. I don't necessarily really want to get into all of that. I could just take, which is probably perfectly fine. Alternatively, we have this. I could also maybe push the pawn, which is something I was thinking about earlier. And, I mean, maybe it's not a terrible move. If he does this, I can just take. He can't take right away. It's kind of nice. Again, I could just keep my lead in development as well. I'm going to try the pawn move. I've never done that before, but I'm going to try it. So that hangs the knight. We talked about that. So we take with our queen, and we get a resignation. All right. Well, that wasn't much to write home about. That wasn't too bad, was it, guys? I was all anxious for nothing, and we played a pretty good game. I played with 96% accuracy, so I didn't make any mistakes. But it was a pretty short game. We played 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we played like 13 moves. So it's nice to get some. I feel a lot more comfortable now that I'm 12-17. This is another peak of mine, but I'm just glad that I'm over 1200. Them taking here is a cool way into the Tartic Hour. I'm not usually too concerned about playing the Tartic Hour. I just typically don't win those games. But I do like to practice and see if I can't get better at it. A funny way to play is also, I think, playing like this, where they go for like the Alien Gambit, which is relatively hard for me. It's not a losing move as of yet, but the thought is to sacrifice here. My king has to take because you're threatening my queen and my rook. You're forking pieces, so I take with the king. And then I think the follow-up move immediately is bringing the knight to f3. I think that's the most important, but you could just start really doing harm with bishops. What most people play here is h6, and that kind of gets it all started. I think you're a little better off if you don't play h6 here, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. We'd have to get into the lines. Right here it says c5 right away is the best line. I know that even after they take and you take with the king, c5 is like one of the best moves by the computer, and it's just to kind of do what they're doing back to you. Anyways, this is not the Alien Gambit. Tartic Hour. We get to this. The ideas are to bring the bishop up to d6, castle immediately, bring the rook over to e8. It takes us a minute to get everything set up usually, but we do get castled quickly. They do the same almost always. I think a more common move, a lot of people do bring the bishop here, but another move that I see a lot is they bring the bishop here. And it's not a bad move, I don't think. Yeah, it ends up being fine, but this is typical stuff. I castled, they castled. I brought my bishop out, which is not the best move. Let's look at what the best move actually is. The best move is bringing the rook out first. I keep the tension usually, but I guess you could take potentially if you wanted to when they do the same. More than likely they will. In this position, that's why I find it so hard and I lose so many games, is because they play kind of the same moves every time, and I get to a point and then I don't know what to do because everyone plays the same way for most of it, and then that's when getting tricky and playing tactics comes in. And endgames are usually not in our favor because of these, these pawns, basically. He's going to have a majority on the queen side, and we technically have a majority on the king side, but they're messed up. So endgames typically are lost for us because one of these becomes a weak pawn. Anyways, go for the pin. I never take the knight. I always just pin it. We back up. He does this. I actually played this move And I've had this before, and I know it's not the best move, but for some reason I just, for the life of me, don't understand A5 very much. I guess it's to just really start ripping open this side of the board. I really can't be certain. Oh, no, because you're going for a bishop trap. You can trap the bishop. Yeah, he's actually in a little bit of trouble here with that. And at my ELO, this is a hard move to see why that is the move, because you played this, he's got to back up, and then you just get the bishop. So that ends up being sexy. I should have thought about something like that. I didn't. We do need to see tactics like that in the future. I played this move, which is not even the best move. The best move is to just keep developing, and if he takes, the pawn cube is really not that bad. Alternatively, I could take this way. I don't think that's a better move. I think that even him giving up the light squared bishop, I still don't want to have this weak diagonal towards my king. So I think the pawn cube is fine. It's pretty defendable. Just kind of want to get to a point where we're not in really an endgame, or we're up a piece or something, if it happens. He plays this move, which I just, for some reason, the entire reason that I played this was, one, to kind of provoke. I just had a feeling he wanted to chase down my bishop pretty bad. And yeah, this is just a hanging piece. So we took it, and he did not like that. It says we played like a 2000. He played like a 1550. I don't think we played very many moves, so I think it's kind of hard to say that I played like a 2000. But it is nice to know that we can play 13 moves and win a game of chess, and we didn't make any mistakes or inaccuracies. We played a good game. So, yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed. I know it was a short one, but I will catch you guys tomorrow. See you then.